talk about, which brings us to point number 3. Last season, supposed to be the year that big man Myles Turner really had a breakout year, take the next step in his game, but his scoring, his rebounding, his shot blocking, it all went down. You know, he did make a lot more threes, but his free throw attempts were down from 2016 and 2017. Point number 3 is this the year that Myles Turner finally steps up, and can this team survive if he doesn't?
I say no, that they don't survive, because I see Myles Turner. I watched him in Dallas quite a bit. He played high school ball down in Texas, and I saw a guy that was perfect for the NBA, the direction that the NBA is going, a stretch big. That's what it's all about. I don't know if it's touches in the right place, exactly what the issue is, but he has a tendency to go away sometime as an offensive weapon, and I don't think the Pacers are good enough if he's not going to average 16, 17 points a game and 6 rebounds for your center. That's never a good thing.
No, you're not going to get it done, and I'm with you, Harp. I look at it, and like you said it best, Alec, first, your big got to be so aggressive. He got to get more free throw attempts because he has a great touch. That area has to go up for him. I think just overall aggressive, putting your mark on a game. And you know, Harp, sometimes your offense is not there, but can you make an impact without your jump shot going? Can you make an impact without your scoring going? And for a big, as old school and coaches say, you got to go down there and rebound the basketball. 6 is not going to get it for him. He's athletic. He's talented enough. I think he has to get that number close to double figures. And like Harp said, 16 or 17 points for the Indiana Pacers to take that next jump.
He has not matched what I expected him to be as a player yet. Still young. I think that's the other thing that you got to take in consideration. He's still growing. It takes some guys longer to figure it out than others when you talk about a guy like Myles Turner.
He's been doing a lot of yoga, so I'm going to go with the young
He has. He's got abs now and everything. Really transformed that body.
I've been doing a lot. I've been doing a lot of
No
yoga too, Harp, but I don't have no abs.
Well, if you don't have it, you know I don't have it. Right?
Guys, I have one more question when it comes to Myles. You know, I looked up some of the numbers, and Coach McMillan said, I want Myles to play more with Sabonis than with Thaddeus Young. And that's something we really want to start transitioning to this season. But the numbers from last season, you know, they don't tell the same story. When he's with Sabonis, his numbers are way down compared to when he shares the court with Thaddeus. And I know a lot of other factors go into that. But the team also had a negative net rating when they were on the floor together. So how do you see him and Sabonis and that chemistry going in the lineup when they're together?
Well, you know, I think all great players is obviously there's better fits, Harp. But with his skill set, we see it. He can shoot the basketball. Sabonis can shoot the basketball. They can play with each other. It still comes down to whether with Thaddeus Young or not. No one's stopping you from rebounds but yourself. I mean, that's where I think Myles Turner, and I think he'll get it. I think he'll have a fantastic year playing with Sabonis or not. I think he understood. We talked about it in Summer League. I got a chance to interview him, that he's ready. And, Harp, you said it best. He put on a little bit of muscle. He has those abs now. And I think just he was young, no excuse. But
Right.
As you have more experience, I think he's a smart enough young man to turn around. I think he's going to have a great year.
In a lot of ways, they're the same kind of players. Both can stretch the floor. I think Sabonis obviously more physical in the paint and has more of a presence there. A lot of times when you get bigs on the floor at the same time, it bogs down the whole floor. The spacing is bad, and those guys are stretch bigs, so you just don't get the kind of rhythm shots that you're accustomed to when you're on the floor with 2 bigs a lot of times.
So I'm writing this down for Myles Turner. Oh, my pen broke. Jumper, abs, perimeter defense, rebounding, and we got more for you after the break on how he can be better at the pick and pop. Smitty and D. Harper take the court
You need to
break it all down.
Abs for me. Do that.
So the Pacers added veterans Tyreke Evans and Doug McDermott to help take some of that scoring load off of Oladipo. And their first-round pick, Aaron Holiday, impressed during the Vegas Summer League. The rest of the major players return, including underrated point guard Darren Collison. We've moved over now to the court, and you guys have some good ideas about the pick and pop when it comes to Myles Turner. What are you thinking?
Well, I'm going to let Derek Harper start off with
Well, pick and pop, pick and roll, whatever you want to do. It depends on the 2 players. But I think the key when you start talking about pick and roll basketball, I think it's important that both guys are offensive-minded guys. Take, for example, a guy like Oladipo. You put him in the pick and roll with a guy like Myles Turner. Myles is a great pick and pop guy, but I think you want to make the point that if he could get into more of a rhythm pick and roll, mixing it up as far as the pick and roll is concerned,
Yeah,
he'll
Harp,
be
I'm
better
going
off.
to have you out there where you were very comfortable as
Yes,
a point
I
guard.
am.
Ali, you want to guard Harp? You got to guard Harp, but I want to just show you.
It's a good time to get me,
Have you
Ali.
seen
This
my
is a good
foot
time.
speed? Have you seen my
So
foot
This
just
is a
speed?
good time to get
Ali,
me.
don't foul him too hard. And I love Myles Turner. He does a good job because a lot of times you want to get out here and set a pick. Harp comes off. You can see the pick. I set a
You want
pick
me to
on
go over
Ali.
or under?
And no, you can stay out.
I like it, Al. I
And
like
when you
it.
fade here, they do a good job. He throws it on the deep ball, Darren Collison, and he knocks down shots, right? But when you really want to take advantage of Myles Turner, because of his size, Derek, and his athleticism.
Probably best if we go on the side pick and roll.
Let's go on the side pick and roll. So you got to go over there.
All right,
you got to
cool.
play some defense. I know you got your heels on.
I'm feeling lazy
9-inch
today.
heels. So I'm going to come set this
I'm
pick.
playing NBA defense right
So
there.
if I
so I'm
hit the
just kidding.
pick right here, and if I roll and Harp hits me with a nice pass, Myles Turner has to be so aggressive, I think, in my opinion, because of his athleticism,
Yes, sir.
where if he's not dunking this, if he's not scoring, he's getting fouled and he's getting to that free throw line. When you talked about how he gets to the free throw line so less frequently than most people, with his size, you're going to miss or make, and you're not getting to that free throw line hard.
And having the ability to do both is when you go to a different level in the pick and roll situation. If you're just going to be a pick and pop guy, defenses know that. As much scouting that goes on in this league, they know that all you're going to do is that. So if you mix things up, obviously you're going to be a little bit more effective as an offensive player.
Well, and I think, too, Myles Turner needs to get more comfortable just triggering, the three from right off the screen because, I mean, he's a mid-range guy. He's so much more comfortable there. His numbers are better in the mid-range. So you said when you go to the basket, be confident. I think we need to see that same confidence from him on the three-point line.
and
That'll come with more reps.
And I
right?
just think when you have that type of size, when he rolls in the pick and roll, he's one step, not even one dribble. He's one step into the basket. And usually guys got to run because the spacing right now, hard to come be over to take a charge. You're going to be too late. You pretty much got to foul him.
He's a pretty talented kid. I mean, it's not beat up Myles. It's not what we're trying to do. But for the Pacers to go to that next level, I think it's important that he improves.
I have a lot of confidence in
some of the areas.
Yeah,
He's
we're
one of my
saying you have a lot
favorites.
of potential. We wouldn't be
Yes,
tearing him up like this
absolutely.
if we didn't
No,
think
that
he could be
yoga
great.
don't get him right, though. Let me see if I downward dog.
I've been playing.
All right, coming up on that note, we're going to hear from the starters as they play another round of True or False. Oh, make it. Because you had that good spin on it.
It took 4 years, 3 months, 2 weeks, and a Sunday for you to love me Monday. All it took was one day for me to love you.
Well, Victor Oladipo is quite the elite talent as he displayed in June during the NBA award show on TNT. Now, is Indiana an elite team? The starters break it down.
Trey Kirby and Taz Mills of the starters here for your next Indiana Pacers point. A little true or false for you. True or false, Trey? The Indiana Pacers are an elite Eastern Conference team.
I'm going to say false for now. I've been wrong about the Pacers before, but a couple of things need to happen before I'll buy them as an Eastern Conference elite team. First of all, Victor Oladipo has to be for real. Remade his body last year, took the league by storm, scored 24 a game, shooting 48% and 38% from three before the All-Star game. After the All-Star game, though, came back down to earth a little bit, 20 points per game on 46% shooting and 34 from three. That, to me, seems like he's probably getting tired because he was carrying basically a Russell Westbrook-style load for the Pacers last year, which is why the second thing that needs to happen to me is that Myles Turner really needs to take that next step. His progress kind of stalled out a little bit last year. He was battling some injuries. I think we need to see Myles Turner take a little bit more control of the offense, kind of have a little bit bigger role, and give Oladipo a little bit of a break so that there could be two big-time options there in Indiana so that Victor Oladipo doesn't have to do everything. Tyreke Evans performing well would be a huge help. There are a couple of ways that the Pacers can get there, but until we see it, I'm not going to buy it.
I do believe. I think you can throw him up there because I do believe in Victor Oladipo. I think last year was his first year as a number one guy. I think he's learned how to be that guy. He's learned how to preserve his body. He was on the phone after Game 7, losing to the Cleveland Cavaliers with his trainer. And he said, hey, let's do this. Let's get back in the gym. There's a great write-up on The Athletic about that. And Victor Oladipo knows that he has to take it to another level. So I do believe after 1 year, year 2 will be better for him. He got cut. Myles Turner, watch Victor Oladipo get cut, and he's doing the same thing. And I do believe that Myles Turner,
Fitzpo,
was a guy. The first couple of years of his career, we thought, I mean, this guy is a modern-day big. He should be that. He should be that guy. In the third year, he had some injury problems. He was not elite, but I think he's going to follow in Victor Oladipo's footsteps to some degree. But you're right. You need a second guy. If you look at the Eastern Conference elite teams, the Boston Celtics have far more than 2 elite guys. The Raptors have Kawhi and Kyle, Simmons and Embiid for Philly. So, yes, I think 48 wins for the Pacers last year. I think it's easy to sort of overlook that number. That's a very good number. I think they can grow. And Tyreek Evans taking some pressure off of both those guys will help that. They didn't really have another ball handler outside of Victor Oladipo last year.
Yeah, big-time prove-it season for me for Myles Turner. Let's hope that Oladipo and him can actually be a solid duo coming into the season.
All right, that is it for us. More on the Indiana Pacers coming up. And if you want more of the starters, check us out weeknights throughout the entire NBA season here on NBA TV.
All right, we'll be back to wrap things up and take a look at the Pacers' projected win total for this season. Will they have more or less? We'll let you know.